Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're coming to you from our home studios because, once again, we want to make sure that you and your families, your coworkers, everyone are all safe and healthy. So we're joined by our good friend who's in his home studio, Nick Dwyer. He's the president of Memphis Youth Athletics. How are you doing, buddy?
Man, we're hanging in there. We're viewing the positive side, if there is such a thing, of all of this madness.
Well, you at least have a chance on your end when you talk about what you do, and we'll talk about this. There's a piece of this on the event side that's going to be us, on both of our ends navigating through this. But on your end, at least from a standpoint of physical fitness, wellness, being outside, there's a piece of this I think that really is critical, mission critical for obviously you, but really
Right.
critical for our health and well-being. So let's start with some context for those listeners and even the viewers when you've been on the Spark and TV shows and such for us, but who haven't seen or heard about Memphis Youth Athletics. Go ahead and give them a little bit of a history and description, and then we'll dive in.
So, yeah, back in 2014, just a selfish high school coach wanted to have some better developed runners coming through the program. And what better way to do it than just, try to affect change on a mass scale. So we went over and we began to take on events. And those events really kind of shine light on what our true mission was going to be, which is, man, we can affect some real change with the sport because it's simple, it's affordable. So it turned into a nonprofit mission. Never in my life that I think I would be head of a nonprofit. But having been a teacher, I guess it was kind of in the blood. But so we began to take on that role. So we made all the proper went through all the proper channels, knocked it out, and now we're sitting here as one of the largest youth organizations in Memphis, centered around getting kids active through running. It's very simple. It's creating healthy habits by just learning how to be a track and field and cross country athlete. So we do everything from events to really creating platforms for coaches, education for families, and it's kind of a one-stop shop.
What's funny is it just popped in my head as you were talking about, but you're literally running a nonprofit.
Yes, I am. Exactly. And I come across a lot of hurdles. We do this all day long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on your end, let's kind of share some of the programmatic side. You alluded to a lot of the things that you do from the event side, working with the coaches, the parents, the youth, obviously. Share a little bit of what a typical calendar year would normally look like. And then we'll talk obviously about what's being affected and impacted obviously with COVID-19, but share what a typical calendar would look like.
Yeah, so we kind of kick our calendar off in the fall. That's our largest program. That's cross country season. That goes from August to roughly October, probably November this year. We're looking at a big, shift. We hope this thing lifts in the fall, but we have roughly, we're going into the 3,000 kid mark in 2020. So we have about 3,000 kids from elementary to high school in our cross country program from over 70 schools across really the tri-state area. We'll go all the way up from, honestly, we'll draw kids in from Union City all the way from Marion down to North Mississippi. So we get them from all ends, which is really kind of cool. But with that program, we are mainly an event host. We provide the platform for these coaches and athletes to perform on. And previously there wasn't one. The coaches were putting on meets, and if you could imagine being a head coach and also trying to be a meet director at the same time, you could imagine how the quality would decrease. So we take that burden off of them, and we also make it exciting for the kids. It's hard to compete with ball sports, so you got to make cross country. It's an energizing thing anyway. Parents are running all over the place. Kids are diving all over the place. It's really quite a chaotic orchestration. It's awesome, but. From there, we'll shift into kind of a postseason program where we take kids all the way out to Foot Locker regionals, where they can qualify for nationals. So we get a range of opportunities for kids that are just beginning to run, and also the kids that are kind of forming themselves as an elite runner in the Southeast and potentially nationals. So that's unique. You don't get state championships and regional championships at most youth athletic, most youth athletic sports. And then winter kind of dies down a little bit. We do some indoor track, but we provide, education for coaches during that time. It's downtime. We put on a lot of really neat clinics with some of the local, leaders in running, which are people like Max Paquette over at University of Memphis, Memphis Runners Track Club provides a huge resource for us, but we reach out to a lot of our partnerships. Ortho South will do some preventative injury clinics with Mark Timmy over there. So, we're extremely fortunate on that end. And then we quickly get into track, which is what we would be in right now.
Right.
And so that's spring. It's a little different. The numbers are a little bit down just because there's other track organizations around. Memphis has been a track town for a while. But we provide a developmental platform. A lot of times it's kind of catered to the upper end kids. And we provide that platform for teams to go, okay, I can't get all 80 of my kids in a meet, but I can take my top over here, then I can bring my others to Memphis Youth Athletics, that's the funnest part. I love the developmental side. And all the while we're cranking out meets on Saturdays. Families are having a good time, and then summer lends itself to summer camps and programs. And this year was going to be exciting because we were going to team up with Memphis Runners again and do a program leading into the Ed Murphy Classic, which is a professional meet that we put on. So we really bridged the gap between the youth and the pros. It's really kind of been neat because we kind of came full circle with it. We would have this year, but we'll see how that occurs.
Well, I think is really cool is you're providing education. You're providing obviously an outlet for health and well-being and wellness, scholarships and education. Yeah. I mean, you cover such a broad bandwidth and even diversity and bringing the community together because to your point, you are bringing all these different groups together as a melting pot so we can all learn and both compete, but collaborate and work together. And so it's really cool what you're doing. Share how all of this with COVID-19, the coronavirus, is impacting you. And then I want to touch on advice because I think, like I said, when you look at health and well-being, physical fitness is such a big piece of that. And getting out and when we have sunlight, enjoying the sun and being outside is therapeutic for us. And so I feel like there's a huge need for what you're doing. So talk about how the impact is playing out, and then we'll talk about what we can do.
Yeah, it was, I think like most of us, we had some false hope. We thought maybe this thing will die off. And in my previous life, I was in medical research, and deep down, I knew this just wasn't gonna, it wasn't gonna. No, poor choice of words. It wasn't gonna pan out. But what we did is we looked at it and go, we can't have this, but what can we do? Well, we're not doctors, we're not nurses, we're not going to save lives, but what can we do? We can provide an outlet for kids and families, and we do that through what became kind of a digital / virtual platform. And it wasn't something we were ready to roll out, but it was just, we had to. So we wanted to continue to be a health and fitness organization while people were trapped at home that could help them. We have become that outlet. We've become a lot of kids' PE class. And we'll put out, daily fitness challenges through our coaches. They'll get on video and they'll do just, just a 30-second little thing and just a challenge. And then we've been putting out weekly challenges through there's a platform called Strava. And basically everyone can upload their runs on Strava, and it's kind of this virtual little social media running community, which is neat. The biggest thing that kids lose right now is that connection. They want to be with each other, and that's the hardest part right now. And that community that they have online kind of gives them that. But we've been putting races together that people can go out and do solo. So we started out with the ever famous mile. We dropped it down to 800. We did a 3,200 meter one, or a 2-mile one this past week. And we're kind of done with the experimental phases of this. We're going to have one more kind of just loose challenge this week. And then we're teaming up with Memphis Runners Track Club to do a really neat series over the next 4 weeks. We think people are really going to gravitate towards it. And, we won't charge anything. We'll do donation-based. We'll encourage that because we still are a 501, and we need to continue to drum up funding just like most people. And we're fortunate, but, however long this lasts, we still need to be, smart and make sure people know who we are and why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So we can continue to do it. And the other two things that we've done so far is we've connected coaches with other area coaches. It's really neat to watch coaches learn about their experiences, express that to other coaches, and then watch the learning occur at that point. And so it's just like a round table situation where, we get together, we chat on a Zoom meeting, just like you and I are doing right now. And you just start to make West Tennessee better. You raise the tides. It pulls all the boats up, and I'm a big proponent of that. I think we just need to get as good as we can and learn from each other. And um, a really neat thing happened the other week, last week actually. I got 4 professional track runners to commit to a Zoom meeting that we posted on Facebook Live last Wednesday, and that was Craig Ingles that runs for Nike, current U.S. champ. Lauren Paquette, a Memphis girl, runs out at Northern Arizona Hoka. She's a 5,000, kind of person. She's run 15, I believe 14 or 15:13 for 3.1 miles. That's pretty quick. Eric Avila, who has come in and won the Ed Murphy Classic, so he's a 354 miler. And then we had Bryce Hopple, who just graduated from University of Kansas and was in the World Championship. So I mean, the kids were able to interact with them, ask questions, how are they coping with it, and the pros just handled it like they should. In reality, they're going through a lot of the same things we are. They're all potential Olympians who had to put everything on hold. So we've done a lot in a short time, but I don't pull my head out of the sand, so I don't really.
Well, I
understand.
think though that does bring an interesting point is that when, especially for the kids, can see that the pros, the Olympic athletes, the celebrities who are all on TV, they're going through this too, just like everyone, and they're frustrated and fragile, and they're going through all the same set of emotions that we're going through. And I think you get a rare glimpse into their world day to day, but also too, you kind of see their headspace and where they're at and how they're dealing with it so that we can apply it.
Yeah.
What would be your advice based on some of the things either that they kind of shared or things that you're sharing on your end, especially for parents who do want to keep their kids physically fit and on a routine, and even for themselves who kind of need that outlet to go either as a family or just one-on-one to make it a priority? Because I think it's very easy in this state mentally and physically when you're locked in your house to overeat, to not get the exercise, to not necessarily stay disciplined on a positive trajectory. How can we do that? What are some tips?
Man, the best thing, and I just got off with my high school team talking to them about this. I noticed in the last 3 meetings I had with them on Zoom, I meet with them once a week. They've heard me, some of the seniors have heard me for 4 straight years, so they need to hear me. I noticed that they were all doing their stuff from their bedroom. I said, guys, you've got to get in a routine, develop a new one. Quit doing stuff in your bed. I bet you feel tired all the time. They're like, yes, I do. I'm like, it's because your body's used to being in bed and sleeping. And I said, schedule your day. Let's wake up at the same time. Let's know what we're going to do for just about every hour of the day until it just gets to the point where it's a new routine. And scheduling your life right now is the big thing. My wife and I are having to do it. We have 2-year-old twins. So, I mean, we're cooped up in a house and we go crazy. If we didn't schedule time for ourselves, schedule time as a family, schedule time for work, schedule time with the kids, it would just be mass chaos. And eventually that's just not going to create an environment good for anyone. So it's important for people to schedule physical fitness for mental health. And that's the biggest thing that I've been telling my runners lately. It's like, yes, I want you to remain fit from the coaching side, but I want you to remain mentally healthy because you've been programmed to do this every day for however long you've been in our program. And the same thing with our youth athletes. You're used to playing outside. You're used to getting recess. Schedule that time after you get done with your schoolwork to go out and get away from the screens and just, go play tag, and families go do it together. Because in our weekly challenges, I've noticed more and more parents jumping out and running a mile, and they've had fun doing it. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give to people right now is make a new schedule for your life. Use your whole house. Don't just do everything from one spot. If you can do work outside one day, do it. But you can create a variety. We're not in a jail cell. We are pretty fortunate. We can still go outside. Now, if the weather would cooperate, would be good, but we can't control that. So that'd be the other thing is just focus on the controllable. Quit watching the news as much as you can. With regards to the negative aspects, get a healthy dose and then turn it away. Don't do this don't have the phone in your face every day, unless it's you and I. Listen to us all the time. So I think that's just the biggest thing that people can do to create the mental health that they need in order to get through this.
Yeah, no, I love the idea of a schedule and creating kind of a new norm, but scheduling out your day and making that a priority. And I think to your point with the kids, and I see it even on our end, if they just lay in bed all day, they're going to be tired because they're not getting in that routine and pushing themselves. And so it's easy to then get caught in a negative cycle. So putting
Yep.
yourself on a positive cycle can be encouraging, but can also make sure that we get through this mentally fit and obviously physically and spiritually fit as well.
Yeah,
How can
absolutely.
we help you? Because you mentioned obviously you're putting out a lot of stuff that people can use right now, and that's
Right.
the design is to be able to help. But how can we help you? So what are some ways we can help now, and then hopefully once things normalize?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest things you can do now is you can visit our website, www.memphisyoutathletics.org. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook. Um, you will see more and more pop up from our YouTube channel. You'll get a lot of information about how you can contribute to the event so we can maintain, you know, the ability to do them for free. Our overhead's relatively low, but we're also not pulling in our revenue right now. I mean, events are what make this thing, stay on the tracks. And when we roll out the series, our goal will be to hopefully average, $5 a person for that. But if they can't, then they can't. But I think people will see the value in it and understand that we're here to stay and we're producing material at a time where a lot of people aren't. We're investing more now than I think we ever have, from a digital standpoint, from a virtual standpoint. And these are really cool programs that are lowering the logistical barrier that we've come across for a long time. Like, we can get into more houses right now. Like, I don't have to bus kids around. They're in one place and they all have a phone. They can all watch us. They can follow us. So these are a lot of things that we're going to keep in our program moving forward. Like, this stuff isn't going away that we're doing. It's just created the opportunity to focus on it now. So yeah, the financial barrier is big for any nonprofit. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to ask for money for a long time. And you can't be ashamed of it either. That's part of the business. We're investing people's dollars to do good things in the community. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, you never can't say it enough on the radio, but go ahead and talk about just once again, website, social media. Where do we go?
Yeah, absolutely. www.memphisyoutathletics.org. That's our main website. It'll have all our Twitter handles and our Instagram handles, and also the Facebook page that's been around for a while now, YouTube channel, all that. So just hit the website up, click on the bird, click on the Instagram, click on Facebook. You'll follow us on all the medias, and please share it with your friends and family. The more people that know about us, the more that we can do to affect change in the community.
Well, Nick, greatly appreciate all you do, and thank you for coming on the show.
And thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you giving us a voice.